Security! Remove this woman immediately! Victoria Bradford's voice slices across the Hamptons estate. Her Cartier watch glints as she waves dismissively. I will not have our family's reputation destroyed by some crasher looking for handouts. Angela Washington doesn't move. Ma'am, I believe there's been a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? Victoria steps closer, her voice dropping to a vicious whisper. Listen carefully. This estate is worth $30 million. These guests represent old American families. You do not belong here. I apologize for any inconvenience. Victoria's eyes narrow. The audacity. Walking onto private property like you own the place. She snaps her fingers at approaching security. Escort her out, now, before she tries to steal something or embarrass herself further. Angela's hands remain steady at her sides. Her voice carries quiet grace. Of course. As you wish. Victoria has no idea she just threatened the wrong woman. Angela doesn't leave. Instead, she walks toward the garden path like she's done it 1,000 times before. Her steps follow the exact route to avoid loose flagstones that would trip other guests. The catering manager freezes mid-conversation. Mrs. Bradford, that's... What? Victoria whirls around. Nothing, ma'am. The manager's face goes pale. He busies himself with champagne flutes, stealing glances at Angela. Victoria notices the staff's strange behavior. Servers whisper among themselves, pointing discreetly. The head groundskeeper removes his cap when Angela passes, then quickly looks away when Victoria stares. Why is everyone acting so weird? Victoria mutters. Angela moves through the estate with unsettling familiarity. She avoids the rose garden's irrigation sprinklers without looking down. Takes the shortcut past the carriage house that only longtime residents know. Her fingers brush the oak tree where someone carved initials decades ago. Victoria follows at a distance, her irritation growing. That woman is studying our property like she's planning to rob us. The wedding planner approaches nervously. Mrs. Bradford, perhaps we should... Should what? Victoria's voice rises. Let some random woman sue our family's estate? I don't think so. Angela pauses at the reflecting pool. She stares at the fountain her grandfather installed in 1952. The brass nameplate reading Washington Estate was removed 20 years ago, but she remembers where it stood. An elderly valet approaches hesitantly. Miss Angela, is that really you? Victoria's head snaps around. Miss Angela, do you know this person, Thomas? Thomas's mouth opens and closes like a fish. Well, that is... Speak up. She used to visit here. A long time ago. His voice barely whispers. Angela turns toward Thomas with a gentle smile. Hello, Thomas. You're still taking care of the gardens beautifully. His eyes fill with tears. Miss, your father would be so proud. You look just like him. Victoria steps between them. I don't know what kind of scam you're running, but this conversation is over. She grabs Thomas's arm. Get back to work. Now. Angela watches the exchange without a word. Her composure remains perfect even as Victoria treats the elderly man like property. More staff members begin to recognize her. Hushed conversations spread through the service areas. The head butler looks ready to faint. Two housekeepers clutch each other's arms, whispering prayers. What is wrong with everyone today? Victoria demands. The wedding coordinator clears her throat. Mrs. Bradford, the ceremony begins in 1 hour. Perhaps we should focus on final preparations. Not until this situation is resolved. Victoria points an accusatory finger at Angela. She's making our entire staff nervous. They can barely do their jobs. Angela continues her quiet tour of the property. She knows which floorboards creak in the east wing, where the hidden safe sits behind the library portrait, which bedroom window offers the best view of sunrise over Long Island Sound. This knowledge terrifies the staff more than Victoria's threats ever could. Victoria notices their fear and misinterprets it completely. See? Even if they know something's not right about her. Angela pauses at the main house's rear entrance. The brass doorknob still bears her family's monogram, though someone tried to file it away. She traces the faded letters with one finger. Thomas watches from across the courtyard, his face a mask of guilt and sorrow. The storm is coming, and Angela Washington stands at its center. "This has gone far enough!" Victoria storms across the terrace, her heels clicking like gunshots on marble. "Security, I want her removed from the property this instant." Two uniformed guards approach Angela reluctantly. "Ma'am, we need you to come with us." "Of course." Angela rises from the garden bench gracefully. Victoria's voice carries across the lawn, deliberately loud. "I will not have wedding crashers disrupting our family celebration. The absolute nerve of some people." Nearby guests turn to stare. Their conversations halt mid-sentence. "Is that woman a problem?" asks Constance Whitmore, adjusting her emerald necklace. Victoria seizes the moment. "She wandered onto our property uninvited, claims she belongs here." Her laugh sounds like breaking glass, as if we would associate with her type. The phrase hangs in the air like poison. Angela continues walking toward the exit, flanked by security. Her spine remains straight, her dignity intact. "Good riddance," mutters Harrison Blackwell, loud enough for others to hear. "These people have no respect for boundaries." His wife nods approvingly. "The entitlement is astounding, walking onto private property like she owns the place." More guests join the chorus of disapproval. Their voices grow bolder, crueler. Probably looking for handouts. Or planning to steal something. Should have called the police immediately. Angela pauses at the garden gate. She turns back toward the house, memorizing faces, taking mental notes of who speaks, who stays silent, who looks away in shame. Victoria notices the careful observation. "What are you doing? Why are you staring at our guests?" "I'm simply appreciating the gathering." Angela's voice remains calm as silk. "Appreciating?" Victoria's face flushes red. "You mean intimidating, making our guests uncomfortable with your presence." The wedding photographer lowers his camera nervously. He's captured the entire confrontation on film, but something tells him these images might matter later. "Delete those photos," Victoria snaps. "I won't have this embarrassment documented." "Yes, ma'am." He quickly scrolls through his camera but doesn't actually delete anything. Angela notices this exchange with interest. Her lawyer's instincts catalog every detail. Thomas the groundskeeper watches from behind a hedge, wringing his cap in weathered hands. Other staff members peer from windows, their faces etched with guilt. "Why does everyone keep staring?" Victoria demands. "Get back to work, all of you!" The servers scatter, but continue stealing glances at Angela. Their discomfort is obvious to anyone paying attention. Victoria's friend Margaret approaches. "Darling, who was that woman? The staff seems terrified of her." "Some delusional person who thinks she belongs with decent society." Victoria's voice drips with contempt. "The audacity of walking onto our property without invitation." "How did she even get past the gate?" "Probably climbed the fence." These people have no respect for private property. Angela reaches the estate's main entrance. The iron gates bear the same Washington family crest that once adorned every building on the property. She runs her fingers across the metal scrollwork her great-grandfather commissioned in 1924. The security guard notices her gesture. His face goes white. "Ma'am, we should go." In a moment, Angela studies the brass nameplate welded over the original family name. The cover job was sloppy, done in haste 20 years ago. Behind her, the wedding guests continue their satisfied chatter about removing the intruder. They congratulate themselves on protecting their social circle. Victoria addresses the crowd like a victorious general. "Ladies and gentlemen, please forgive the disruption. Some people simply don't understand their place in society." Applause ripples through the assembled elite. Angela finally steps through the gates, but instead of walking away, she moves to her car parked across the street. She opens the trunk and retrieves a leather briefcase. The security guard takes a step backward. "Ma'am, what's in the case?" Angela's smile is small and mysterious. "Documentation." She walks back toward the gates with purposeful steps. The real confrontation is about to begin. Angela returns through the gates carrying her briefcase. "What now?" Victoria's voice rises an octave. "Security, she's back." "Ma'am, we escorted her out as requested." "Then escort her out again." Victoria's face reddens with fury. "And this time, make sure she stays gone." But Angela doesn't approach the main gathering. Instead, she walks calmly to an empty table at the reception's edge and sits down. The absolute audacity. Victoria turns to her guests. "She's actually trying to crack